And good evening, guys. I'm just checking. Sorry for the background music. I'm running a. Oh, I'm just checking. That was double. What I wanted to say is I'm running some YouTube video with lots of demo music, and that last music, well, it wasn't music. It was very, very. Well, I didn't suspect so. Anyway, I'll put on the mic a bit. Sorry, the amp. Alright, let's see if all the audio levels are okay. I think so. Let's see if everything is okay here. Yeah. Well, can you hear me? That's the main question, of course, as always. And can you hear the... Yeah, and chiptunes. Okay, okay. Thank you, Xavier. Good evening. Hi, guy. I just was posting on Facebook about the weekly show, so I have to close some windows here. Let's see. Alright. Someone is replying to the posts that he can't attend it at the start, but of course you can always watch the stream from the beginning or watch it live at the time you're home. No problem at all. How many people are watching? Well, about, let's see, where was the number? Just a number. Ah, here. 7 at the moment, but it's increasing. Alright. Well, let's see. I have a program as always for this week. Hope you like it. We'll try start with walking through the program for this week. I'm still closing some windows at the background, and I'm closing my real windows because I can hear some noise. Just a second. Alright, that's better, I think. So, windows, and real windows. There you are. I really have to get off Facebook when I want to start a show. It's not that long, Xavier, you know. Hey Keith, good evening. It depends on how long I can keep up. But I think the last 3 shows were about 2 hours or something. Anyway, let me know if you want shorter shows or longer ones, or through the night or something. I don't know. I really don't think I will keep up with that. Anyway, if you want anything else, let me know. I'm open to suggestions, you know. Okay, this week. Let's see. Oh yeah, of course. As always, I really want to know if you people have anything specific you want me to discuss, or you want to discuss with me. Not a problem at all. Let me know, because the show is really not only by myself. It's I like to do it with you guys. So let me know if you have anything specific to discuss. Let's see if I can see more on this display. It's a high resolution display, but still. No, I didn't, Xavier, sorry. So I'll ask it again here if you want, no problem at all. Hi Sam Claude, good evening. More people are coming in. Alright, so please let me know if you want to talk with me about anything. I really like that. So Xavier has the first topic about bus extension length. We'll discuss it in a moment. The various topic things that kept me busy this week. Well, my car is in garage again. I think I told it last week that I had a problem when I returned. Was it last Friday? Yeah, I had a problem when I returned from the zoo. That by 5th gear just snapped back to what is it? You know. To the middle position. I'm not sure what it is. So I called the garage and they said it could be an expensive repair because some parts in the gearbox have to be exchanged and has to be taken off the car completely. So I brought it last Thursday, I think. Got a car for a couple of days from them. But they called me today and they said, we advise you to buy a second-hand gearbox because this one will take very long and some expensive parts to repair. So okay, that means my loyal Toyota gets another gearbox, not a new one because that would be way too expensive for this one. It will cost me a lot of money, but you know, that's normal with a car. I could just think of selling it and buying another one, but well, it would only cost me more, of course, you know. So it gets me a little stressed, but not that much. You know, I expect those things from a car from 2006, I think, yeah. It's very hot in Holland. It has been 30 degrees throughout the whole week. Even when it's raining at the moment, it's still hot. Of course, I'm very happy with my air conditioning here. So if you ever want to visit me and it's hot outside, it's not a problem at all. I sold my mobile air conditioning, which I used before the fixed one here. Last week when it was hot, I just thought I have to offer it now, and most probably I will sell it in a couple of hours. And indeed, in 15 minutes, someone was here and took it from me, which was great, of course. I wrote down tonight's snack will be fruits, but I just didn't do it. Maybe I will take some fruits, but tonight's snack will be another nostalgic. You can hear I think nostalgic things. Last week I had pretzels, if you remember. This week I have these cookies. You know these cookies? Anyone knows these cookies? Tell me. Of course this is Dutch, but it's almost the same in English. It's lick cookies. You have to lick them. I will not lick them. I will do that on the camera, of course. My kids may take a couple because they saw me walk in with these cookies, and of course I didn't give them because it's for the show, you know. So I now just open the package if they want to get one, and I will get one myself in a minute. Then they just have to get one and come upstairs. Fruit is better, so maybe I will do fruits next week, but fruit is not nostalgic, you know. Fruit, everyone eats fruit, I think. When they're a baby, when they're grown, when they're a teenager, everyone eats fruit. So that's not too important. The flat ones. Oh, ice jams you call it. Okay. Don't you like the flat ones? This is the only one I remember from when I was young. Of course, there will be lots of sugar in that, so I shouldn't take too much. And we're still very low on sugar throughout the last weeks. I think we're keeping it up. I don't see any problem with it because just eating things without added sugar is just fine with me. Of course, some things like some milk meals, you know, require some sugar or something else, honey or something, but not too much, you know. And we eat a lot of fruits, strawberries, apples, bananas, and you don't need any sugar except for that, I think. Oh yeah, before I forget, sorry, just write it down for next week. Subscribe, people! We need more people, we need more subscribers. We're at 19, I think, at the moment, but I really want to get to the 900 and then to the 1000, of course. And man, that noise in the background, I will just skip this a bit. It's a guitar, you know. I'll show you guys what's running in the background. I'll show you, just a sec. Hey, I see someone. A camera. Oh, sorry. This is a demo I'm running. You know, it sounds like guitars and actually are guitars, so I will skip this. It's the same. Yeah, this is normal music, you know. Let's get back. Oké. Sophie, wil je een koekje? Ze zien je toch wel, hè? Kom maar, stap. Neem je er voor Steven ook in mee of moet Steven zelf halen?
Wat er meer dan eentje.
Nou, dan pak dan een paar dan. Ga staan, dat maakt niet uit. Maakt niet uit, je mag best de camera laten zien. Sorry, I'm speaking Dutch because she's not really into English yet. A bit only. Bye bye. Okay, she's just here for the cookies, you know. Anyway, Nikos, good evening. Good evening from Holland. And nice Greek people are also watching. There's another one. I really wonder which cookies you are. You remember, Xavier? I don't know the ones you were referring to. So, if you have some link to a photo or something. I told you there are free cookies here. Anyway, they're ruining my program. So. He's talking about Fortnite, you know.
It's a good game.
Oh, that's too bad, Taylor. I posted on Facebook, and I will post it here. It's no problem.
Doei.
I'm replying to Rob on Facebook because he is asking if I still plan to sell projects, small starting projects for the Specky breadboard, for example. So you can control electronics with your Sonic Spectrum, and I still want to do that but you know, I really have an extremely long backlog at the moment. I posted it on Facebook as well, because I really have way too much going on at the moment. Anyway, I'm waiting for Xavier to send me a mail or something. I don't have a mail open, but I will open it. Or a Facebook message, whatever you want. Anyway, we'll just I will come back to your question about the edge connector, edge extender in a moment, Xavier. Let's see. Well, as you may have read, I did it. I was planning this for months, of course, for years maybe, but nothing was certain until now, until 2 days ago. Yeah, I quit my job at my IT company. Well, it's not an IT company; it's a utility company with an IT department, of course. And I quit my job there, so the signatures were written down 2 days ago, and I still have a contract until September, because I've worked there for 17 years, so I could use some good I could use a good agreement. How do you call it? Settlement. I mean settlement, yeah. I go away from my company in a good way, which is really good for ByteDelight, of course. And that happened 2 days ago. So for the first time today, really, because yesterday I visited the office to do some last things. But this was my first day without any pressure from the job, and that felt really different, you know. Now I still have the pressure of the backlog and catching up with all the stuff, but no pressure anymore from my other job, and that's really a big difference. So I posted this photo, which should represent something like me getting into 8-bits completely. Don't know if anyone got it from the picture, but I really like the picture. I liked making it just to celebrate the moment. Let's get back to the program. Okay, surveillance pay. Well, I never heard of that, but I will look it up. That should be the word. Redundancy. I wasn't redundant really. It was just that I was not motivated anymore because lots of organizational issues during the last years, which ruined the work I was really getting into. And I've worked there for 7 years, and I've seen a couple of these situations, and I really couldn't bring up the energy to continue there. And people know that, and I didn't make a secret of it. So I was really happy that my new manager offered me this opportunity. Let me see. Well, we'll come back to that in a second, Xader. Let's see. Yeah, so ByteDelight 100% is my theme for today. And what came up in my mind an hour ago was I will put in really all my energy, all my love into this work. I have no doubts that it will keep me busy for a couple of years, and after that we'll see. I'm still planning on installing the assembly street here, the production street with the pick and place machine. So once that is installed, things will go easier. I will still have to do some automation and administration, daily order handling, that sort of things. So it will. It must be some more routine work in the future. But of course, there are a couple of topics. Some people were joking about it, but really, I'm the owner of ByteDelight. I'm the person who communicates with you by email, by Facebook. I do the production myself, and that's one thing that will go to the production street in the future. But still, that has to be operated, of course. I do the order picking. I do the shipping. Well, partially I do the shipping because my wife often gets to the post office for that, just to deliver packages. I do ordering of parts. I do unpacking of parts, which are a lot. I get packages about every day nowadays because there's so much demand for these hardware. Let's see. So that's what I will keep doing for the next years, and I really like it. I'm just a bit tired because of all the stress throughout the last weeks. You can imagine if you make such a huge change and quit your office job. It takes a couple of days before it all drops in, and I'm get used to it, do the thought, you know. Some quick news. Some other bits. So the previous topic was not quick news but big news. But I added Euro to my webshop because Dennis was really pushing me to do that, as he was thinking that lots of people, for example, from Spain and Netherlands, of course, and Portugal and Belgium and France, Germany, really like to see Euro prices instead of British pounds. And I. As I still sell mostly to the UK, about 90% I think. I didn't bother, and because Ricardo and Thomas sell in euros, and I have good relationship with them, I didn't bother. But I really had to, because last Monday was. We'll come back to that in a second. Last Monday, Tweakers.net published a great article about a Harlequin kit that I shipped to them. I will show you in a minute. And that's one of the reasons that my webshop had to be in euros as well. At the moment, it automatically detects which country you're from, and then sets the currency to euro or British pounds automatically. So all the other countries that use euro are automatically set to euro when you enter the webshop, which I think is great. It's a great plugin in WooCommerce and WordPress. So I think it's great, and it seems that lots of people really like the new feature, because I'm already getting more orders because of that. The new ES6 tools has arrived. Last week I think I spoke about it, but I didn't cover the 128 mode, which should enable 128 basic support or +3 basic support in on one of those machines with a supported interface running ESXDOS. But I didn't actually get it to work, and now I understand that you have to use a custom ROM for that, which needs to be installed in your computer. So if you want to use the 128 mode with the ESXDOS, you have to use a custom ROM. And there are two possibilities with that. George Velisoft created one which is available somewhere for download. So you can burn it on an EEPROM and put it in. Or Andrew Owen is working on the Derby++ ROM, which should also, I think, now support the 128 mode under ESXDOS, which I think is great. I still have to test it because I didn't have the time last week. But I think it would be great using 128 or +3 basic with ESXDOS, because you finally can use your floppy drive on a +3 or something else. Just name something. Play commands. I don't know. Anyway, some things you want to use, and one of the big benefits I think will come is that you can, for example, transfer disk images from SD card to a real +3 floppy drive. But someone has to just come up with a utility for that, of course. Yeah. Let's see the replies. Ah, nice. You mean, how's it called? I know what you mean. I've seen it in the face, but I just forgot the name. Ga je meer koekjes pakken? Kom, ga zo maar lopen. Alright, some other things I did last week was connecting Facebook and Twitter, and also Facebook and YouTube. But I found out that once you connect Facebook to YouTube, or the other way around, yeah, now I have 20 cookies on the ground. Once you do that, even likes on videos will be posted to Twitter, and that wasn't what I expected. So I cut the connection between YouTube and Twitter, because I want to keep it professional, you know. And I don't really think that people are waiting for me to like YouTube videos. I think, because I like all kinds of YouTube videos, you know. I hope there are still some cookies left. Yeah, there are. Talking about cookies, let's see that thing that Xilio sent me. Where did you put it? Why did you put it, Xilio? I'm looking for it. Oh, smart card, yeah, smart card, Xilio. That was what I think was looking for. Yeah, smart card is a cool device. It's a proprietary, of course, but I think it's a nice way of loading ROMs. Let's see. What did you send me, Xilio? Facebook? Oh, to ByteDelight. Okay, it's on my mailbox on ByteDelight. Okay, just a sec. Oh man, there's so many pages you have to visit every day now. I get crazy from that. There should be a system where you can combine all the messages, but at the moment I just have to visit all the different places. Where is my mailbox? Mailbox. There it is. Ah, okay. Iced gems. Let me see if I can post it. Oh, okay, I can just show you, of course. Yeah, okay. Let's zoom in a bit. So, these are the cookies Xilio is talking about, and they look like bigger cookies with some topping on it. Okay. I think I will like them as well, but I've never tasted them, I think. They look a bit like other cookies I know, but they're different than from what I grew up with, you know. And I think, how many colors are in here? Only 2? Only 3. I think there are three colors. So I have the yellow one, you know, yellow. I have the pink ones and orange ones, but no blue ones. So it doesn't match my shirt completely. And I'm making my desk dirty with all the cookies. Huh? There's a text on it. Really? Look. Cool. Mmm. 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 So if you know more of these nostalgic things, and your answer is yes I do, then let me know, and maybe I will try to acquire some and use it in the show. Mmm. They really make me remember when I was a kid, so 35 years ago something. Mmm. Let's see, Vincent, good evening. Nikos, good evening. Icarus. Steve, yeah. Yeah, I would love Sun over HDMI. But the thing is, I didn't develop that firmware. That was Imre. So I'm a bit dependent on his work. We actually talked about it last week again. He got a Timex computer, so the Portuguese version, 2068 model. And connected the ZXHD to it, I think. Yeah. He sent me a couple of photos also from the didactic models, the Russian ones, I think. Anyway, he tested. No, he didn't. He actually didn't connect to ZXHD. He was just for the first time using the Texas computer. And he tried the specific graphical modes, you know, the high resolution graphics. And he said to me, maybe we can implement that as well, because it's the Timex modes are actually part of the EULA Plus specification. But we didn't yet implement that, and also so no sound over HDMI, as you know. Yeah, what you're saying, Cellular, is what we were thinking at the beginning, and that will work when you use an emulator, of course. But the problem at the moment is that the Raspberry Pi is really keeping in sync with the ZX Spectrum EULA by triggering the end signal, but that makes the ZXHD very busy. So there's not much CPU time left with this way of working, and I don't think it's quite easy to add audio, because you have to really have an audio buffer, you know, something that plays in the background, and you have to add the parts to the stream continuously. That's a problem. And maybe, yeah, of course, you know, if there would be a Raspberry Pi Zero with 2 cores or something else, but with the same footprint, it would be much easier. But at the moment, we just are thinking of either adding beeper sound or using some kind of audio injection. But I tried that audio injection. And doing that with, for example, simple cables, because you can, for example, buy HDMI to VGA cable and then VGA to HDMI. but with added audio. That's not a problem. You can buy those cables for a couple of pounds or euros. But the thing is that those cables really consume a lot of power, and since the USB power from the ZX HD, the HDMI power from the ZX HD comes from the ZX Spectrum itself. What I found is that the voltage regulator within the ZX Spectrum shut down when I was using one of those HDMI to VGA converter cables, and that's because they're active converter cables. So that's the problem. So that wasn't really a solution, or I would have to use an external power supply for that. But using there's nothing simple for adding audio to an HDMI signal. You know, there's nothing I can easily add to the ZX HD. Otherwise, you could just get audio from your ZX Spectrum, of course, for example, and stream it over the HDMI signal. But it's really difficult because the Raspberry Pi really builds up the video and audio signal from the firmware. So it's not easy. That's what's called audio injection Icarus, and that's what I tried for in different ways. I still have to continue on that experiment, and I think we can achieve that by using some really cheap cables. But so most probably we have to use an external power supply, and I don't think that's the best solution, but who knows. So that's one of the projects I need time for. And talking about projects and backlogs, and first I must show you some parts of the backlog. I will just throw this box because there's name from a customer on. Let me see if I can show this to you. So the first is, I won't show you the names, of course. The first is all the orders which are here. There are really a lot left at the moment. I think a couple of 15-20 orders. I have a couple of more orders in the boxes at the other side. Larger orders from several people. And here are the empty boxes with, for example, Specky breadboard, the joystick adapters, the ZX AYs, and more caps and mouse interface. I really have to craft them all in a couple of days, and more of these, like the ZX HD and the Pro one is empty as well, the shelf. They really sell quickly at the moment, and throughout the last weeks I still had the problem of getting to the office sometimes, and the stress because of that. But I don't have that anymore. Of course, I have some other obligations to my family. And other things. I do a lot more in my life, of course, than only working. But I really now can say I can focus on ByteDelight, and I'm definitely going to do that. So the backlog will really go away in the near future, and then I have to pick some new stuff for people who specifically ask for it. And finish some other projects like the +3 PSU and more of that. Lots of things going on. It will keep me busy for weeks, for months, for I think a couple of years from now, which is good. I like doing this, and you know, imagine you have something in your mind. Most people just let go of those thoughts because they think that it's not possible. But you have something in your mind you want to do. But you know, you cannot do it because of many obligations, like work, like family, like maybe your health. But imagine one day you get the opportunity of just doing that. And I have the feeling I'm in that position at the moment. I have the feeling I can finally do what I like. And it's the first time, you know. I've worked for 17 years at this company. And I thought it was normal because you do a study, you get from school, you go to work. But now I can do what I like, and of course many people think it's strange doing this work. I don't think it's strange. It's really. I can really easily explain what I'm doing by saying I'm producing hardware for nostalgic collectors or users from computers from 35 years ago. And it's not a really big business, but because not many people are doing it, for me it's a day job at the moment. So I think, I'm really excited, that I can do this full time. I can do this whenever I want. I can work here. I can get on the floor and lay down for a bit and get some rest. No, sorry about that. I can do whatever I want. I can work here naked. Oh, sorry, I didn't say that. I can just get up in the middle of night, go to the attic, and do something I like. And that's not only playing Fortnite, but also doing some work, of course. And I think it's the best there is, I think I've never been someone that fit in this society of doing study, getting to work after that. I really hate that. I like to be creative. I like to do whatever comes into my mind, and often those things get the best response. For example, the rainbow LED case I just did for out of creativity, not to make a real product of, but people really like those results. And I think even Clive Sinclair is someone who is also creative but also an entrepreneur, which converted his creative ideas to real products. And I'm not thinking I have to follow his footsteps, because I think I've enough work at the moment. I really like doing what I'm doing now. I don't want to have a Fortune 500 company or something. I don't want employees at the moment. Maybe in a couple of years, I don't know. But anyway, I really think it's great doing this. And I've seen more people starting their own company, but with more risks, more or maybe less guarantees. I'm not sure if you can speak about guarantees, because nothing is guaranteed, of course. Well, I really hope the other guys like Bart or someone else will succeed as well, because I think it's really cool if you can do what pleases you the most. And of course, you have to think a little in a commercial way. But I really do this out of love for things I remember I dreamt of when I was 8 or 9 or something, and it didn't have a computer back then, but I dreamt of computers. I don't know why. I'm just human, I think kids, you may laugh at it, but I think kids these days also dream about their tablet or their smartphone before they have their first, or a PlayStation 4, or you know what I mean. But nowadays, if someone thinks of it, they often get it almost instantly, because many parents have enough money to buy a console or a tablet or something, and enough is maybe an understatement, because some people really buy smartphones of €1,000. Man, I would never do that, I have these Xiaomi Mi 4Cs. I have 3 of these. One for myself, one for my wife, and one for my son. He got it last week. I actually have the box here from the third one. I bought the last 2 second hand, the first one new, and I updated the Android when I get them, because these smartphones are really fast for the price. And I think now, if I want to buy another one, I think I will pay about €80 for a really good smartphone. Whatever. What makes someone pay €1,000 for for an iPhone 10? Yeah. I wouldn't blame you, Xelior. But I would never do that myself. One of the reasons I won't do that is because I think I really like to control my phone or my computer, not the other way around, I had many colleagues. I had many colleagues who told me, "Ben, you have to buy an Apple computer and an iPad and an iPhone, and you know." Hey, Nico's great work. But I just say to them, I like working with Windows. I don't have any problem with Windows, guys. I really like talking with people about new developments on computer hardware and not buy an Apple and don't know what's inside. Yeah, it has an i7. Yeah, okay, great, you know. But I really like to get to the core of things like solid state drives, SSDs, or Intel CPUs, and now it's AMD, which is in the news a lot, of course. I'm actually thinking of buying an AMD in the future. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's see. Cyber Gothy, is that you, Michael? I think, or not? Ah, yeah. Must be, because you're speaking about converted videos. I really like your videos. You've seen I like your videos on Facebook. I really like the video, you know. You guys have seen some videos about which I made on YouTube. It's so cool that the ZX Spectrum can play 25 frames per second video with audio. It's awesome. I really like it. So if you want to experience that yourself, get to ZXspectrum.shop and buy a DivideE interface. They are available at the moment. Let's see, because I skipped through a lot of messages here, and I still have to come back to Xelior about his question. And I can hear Jean-Michel Jarre again in the background. You know, I like Jean-Michel Jarre, you know. I think everyone knows at the moment. Yeah, Vincent, we are still kids. I'm still a kid. I don't worry about that. I think I want to live forever, and I will never get old, you know? And I really mean it. Let's see, that was one. Yeah, Xelior, the audio injection for HDMI is at least €40 or £40 or something like that. They're not cheap at all, no. Only the cables are cheap, but as I said, when you use a HDMI to VGA cable, it will overpower your ZX HD. So that's not a great solution. And if I would offer a cable kit for audio injection on the ZX HD with an external power supply, for example, it could be in the same price range because for £35 because I have to add a power input and a power supply, and it takes time and it takes some extra parts, you know. I don't think it's the best solution. So I really hope the Raspberry Pi Foundation will come with a dual core Raspberry Pi Zero in the near future. I think they can do it. Most probably it's on the roadmap somewhere. Yeah. So Xelior, you have the same experience. It's 1 amp of power. It's unbelievable. It's 1 amp, so 5 watts for just converter cable, you know, 2 cables. It's ridiculous. But powering it from another source will solve that problem, but it won't look that nice, of course. But the strange thing is, if it's possible to use 2 of these cables, why is there someone who just put them in a small box and offered it for €10 or something with external power supply? That would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah, I can do it, but I don't have the time for that. I'm not sure if many people will use it, and of course converting it to an analog signal isn't the greatest solution. What's with this Specky breadboard? Xelior, you want one? You have one? I don't know. I forgot. Yeah, Icarus, I know, but you know, I don't know if you have kids, Icarus, but I have 2 kids. I have this home. Let me just translate something for myself. occupied home. No, it's not a rental. I mean, I own it myself. I'm still paying for it, of course, which is very, very important that we keep it. We have 2 cars, which are expensive. We also want to go outdoor from time to time for a couple of days. So switching jobs with all those responsibilities is definitely not easy, and I think anyone would agree. And I don't say if you don't have kids, it's much more easy. But I think, I agree with you, Icarus. I should have done it when I didn't have kids, for example, before that. But 17 years ago, no, not 17 years. 15 years ago, I finished my study. When I got the job at the company I just left. And it's just the steps you take in your life. You cannot do much about it, It's choices after choices, and at that time I really wasn't up to running my own business, and it has changed a lot. I'm learning a lot of things. I'm trying to find the best way of doing my business. I think things like these weekly shows are a great thing. I really want to do those, keep doing those, because I think having a company where you talk to people on Facebook and shipping stuff over instead of having customers in a shop, for example, will make you some kind of antisocial person, and I don't want that. So I really like talking to you straight in this way. I think it's a lot better than only sitting behind my desk here doing some soldering. That would be awful. For me, it would be awful. I don't want to say anything about anyone else. I really like a lot of other people that are not on YouTube, for example. And I came across a photo on Facebook last week from someone else, and I saw a card from someone where he ordered some stuff with a telephone number on it, and I wouldn't do that because I'm getting crazy with all the email and the messages I have at the moment. But I could, of course, add my phone number. But I'm certain I will get more crazy when I'm getting calls in English, for example. That would make me absolutely go crazy. I actually got some phone calls from California, from a company where I bought some new old stock parts, a lot of them actually. And the guy just called me because he thinks it's really important of having direct contact with his customers. And of course I liked it. But I didn't expect it, so it felt a bit odd to me. But I think it's good to be in contact with your customers by telephone. It's not a problem at all. But if I would put my telephone number on business cards, I'm afraid I will be on the phone all day, and I don't want to do that. And again, my wife isn't that technical, so it's nothing for her to take up the phone and talk to people about technical questions of their ZX Spectrums or interface or something. Yeah, Vincent, I have a couple of Samsung phones as well. So I started with those mainly. I got an HTC Desire at first, I think. I got a UI before this one, before the Xiaomi. And I think if you buy a second-hand phone, they're still great, like an S6 or an S5 or something. And of course, it's not as fast as the new flagships, but I really don't know why I would need the newest phone or something. It's nothing for me. If people can spend the money, please spend it on my web shop. Of course, just joking. I know people do that, so I don't have to ask for it, of course. Anyway. Yeah, Thomas, what you're talking about replacing the AY chip by CPLD or something, I don't think it's possible. The AY chips are analog chips, you know, just like the SID chips and the Commodore 64s. And I think I read some about some projects of replacing the AY chips with FPGA or something. But it's really complicated. It's not cheap at all because assembling drop-in replacement with this FPGA or CPLD and some extra analog parts will be more expensive than the current old stock chips. So I think as long as I can get them, I will just buy the original AY chips. And they're getting more expensive, that's true. Actually bought some last week. And the guy who sold me them for what is it, €5, $5 I think, now asks $8. So I negotiated a better price than the new one, which I got. So it's still not too expensive, but they're getting more expensive. There's no doubt about it. And that's the problem with old stock. You know, I can order about 90% of my parts at companies like Farnell or something. But the old stock original parts are still are getting more harder and harder to obtain. We'll see how to deal with that. It's the same with the floppy controllers, the Western Digital controllers, for example. They're getting hard to obtain as well. But we'll think of new products instead of the AY. You know, I'm not afraid of that. And maybe we'll indeed create a replacement for that. Joystick or keyboard for the ZX81? I think there are proper keyboards for the ZX81. The metallic, the metal ones. I forgot the names. A metal keyboard for the ZX81. I don't think. Let's see. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's the. How was it called? Oh man, I forgot. Metal keyboard ZX81. Which one was it? The hard keyboard. I'm looking at Google at the moment. I don't see. Oh, here, the Memotech, of course, the Memotech. I think those keyboards, if you like it, it would be. They are great. So why bother creating something else? I will show you. You know this one, I think. So these are the Memotech keyboards, and I think they're really great. The only downside is you have to use an external interface for that, I think. But I think what you're referring to is a USB or PS2 keyboard instead of the original ones, and it's not so easy. I think once I develop a USB keyboard interface for the ZX Spectrum, it's quite easy to create a ZX81 version as well. So most probably we'll do that. But getting a USB keyboard interface will take some time and some nights without sleep. And I'm not sure if I'm up to developing something like that myself yet. Mainly because of time issues. But I have to learn a lot from microcontrollers and I just have to start with that, you know. I've done a lot of programming, and I think I will be able to do that. But at the moment, I have lots of other things going on. So I really hope Imre from Hungary has some time for that in the future. Before I have. Let's see. Oh. Yeah, Thomas. Yeah, for some part it's true that the kids gave me the drive to make this a success. And I really actually said to a colleague yesterday, about 50% of the reasons I want to do the work on ByteDelight is that I want to be at home for my kids, with my kids. But at the moment, because of all the orders and the backlog, I'm really almost always working, 70, 80 hours a week. Yeah, I have to change that. And one of the things I want to change is create a weekly schedule. So I really want to have 3 days, for example, for production and sales, and then 1 or 2 days for development and other stuff. And I think I have to get to that schedule in some way in the future, in the near future. Otherwise, I'm working like how big companies do that in web stores, for example, who use how do you call it? Who Kanban? Is it English pronounce? How you pronounce it in English? Kanban. Let's see, Kanban. It's international. Kanban. Yeah, it's Kanban. Okay, that's what I meant to say. I'm Kanbanning, which means I try to prioritize every day and pick up the most important work I have to do now. But that means at the moment I'm not having any time for development, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I really want to have time for development every week. So it's hard. I'm not sure how to handle with that. We'll see. Not going into that too much because it really stresses me out. Let's see. Man, there are so many messages coming in. Thomas, my Harlequin kids can use power supply with either positive or negative sensor pin. It's not a problem because there's a rectifier on the PCB. But I think the 128K models, which are available somewhere, don't have that rectifier anymore. So then you have to use another kind of power supply. I'm not sure yet. So watch out for the other models. But my kids with a T, they support a wide range of power supplies. Yeah, I have dozens of microdrives and dozens of interface ones. That's not a problem. They need a lot of attention as well, of course, and they go for really high prices. So that's why I have such a large stock. I know they will sell well on eBay or maybe my web shop, I'm not sure. Thomas, good question. Thank you for your question. How did you learn all this knowledge about electronics from jobs, education, or self-trained? Maybe I must show you. Maybe you've seen the interview that Jamie from Retro Video Gaming. Or let me check just a sec. Let me get the website up. Where is it? I cannot find it. Where is it? This music is great, you know. Where is it? I cannot find a link. Yeah, here is it. Oh, let me get to the website and let me share my screen with you. I really need this third monitor. 2 is not enough. So, Jamie from Retro Video Gamer. sent me a message asking if I could do an interview with him, and I really liked it because not too many people ask me this. So they ask a lot of questions like telling something about my own life, how I started with ZX Spectrums, how my company started. Let's see. Can you tell us what prompted you to get involved in development of hardware? Well, here's a question to your answer. Who asked it? Let me see. Thomas, yeah. I think it started when. Oh man, it's hard to remember. I was for some reason I always was interested in electronics. I like playing with a soldering iron in our barn in the yard, in backyard, and when I was living with my parents in Nijmegen. And I was just disassembling stuff like amplifiers and other electronic stuff, and there wasn't much like nowadays. Of course, there weren't smartphones or complex digital equipment. But I'd just like to see what parts were in. I really like the smell of the capacitors, and I didn't like resistors because they were so small. You had so many types, and all the nonsense. But I just disassembled the machines. I think that got me using my hands and quite small parts. And got me the experience with soldering for the first time, and I did it a couple of years. And it wasn't that serious, but I'm not sure if it was before that or after that I got to some kind of hobby club in Nijmegen with other kids and some mentors who motivated us to just build and develop your own stuff. Could be anything. Could be something from wood. Could be electronics. Could be something musical related. All kinds of stuff. And I went there for a couple of years, and I remember I was doing some. Projects like a wireless microphone and more of those. But what interested me most when I visited the locations were the large warehouses with computer stuff. There are lots of different computers in there, and in the time that was 86 machines, 8-bit or 16-bit PCs from IBM, and what came out after that. So I at that time I was using MFM drives, hard drives from 5 megabytes, and I was working a lot with floppies and more of those. And I started with soldering, and I'm not sure what kinds of things I made it at first, but what I did remember was that we had our own corner where you could etch PCBs, and the first things I did was create PCBs from electronic magazines, where you could copy a page with a circuit onto a transparent foil, put it on the PCB, the copper light sensitive copper plate, and etch away the stuff you didn't need. Of course, it was kind of complex and dangerous to handle, but I did a couple of those back then and made my first electronic circuits back in the days. And I thought, well, it's only logical that I will do a study in the same direction. So I started a study with electrical engineering, and after a while I found out that only part of a study like that was what interested me. But you have to do a study because you have to get work in the future, and that's the most important reason. but I really wasn't a very serious student. I really liked to experiment. I wanted to be creative. I built my first laser harp. What's also in the article here. I built my first laser harp when I was 17 and lived on myself for the first time. And in the downstairs in the students' building where I lived back then. And I wanted to do that, and the problem was there was nothing for people like me back then to guide me with those plans. And still, there's not much nowadays. Some people may say, yeah, you have all those talent shows, you know, and you have many creative schools at the moment, but they're all aimed at commercial benefits and not at just being creative because you're creative. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You know, I have a private life, which is very important to me. I don't want to spend much time out of my away from my family, but I want to be creative, and that takes a lot of what I think of. So that's about my life, you know. That's about my whole life. That's all. That's the only thing that interests me. No, I'm just joking. So I think Thomas, answer to your question. I think most of the stuff I do nowadays is self-trained, because I just develop things I think is interesting for others, but mostly interest me. And don't mind if people don't like it. But it turns out that if you make something that can be used by someone else, that people will buy it, because there are not many people who are able or have learned to produce the stuff. I think anyone can learn anything. That's my opinion. I think anyone can learn anything, but you have to have time for it, and you have to be motivated. And what I learned is, although I think anyone can learn anything, the problem often with people having troubles with learning several things, is that they're not motivated enough to dig into and hold on until they've learned. And I don't blame them, because you only do something when you like it, when you're enthusiastic about it, and when it's complex to learn, of course. Let's see. Yes, I still have interface once. I just said. Yeah, Xelior, I know there are a lot of USB hosts, routines that can be used for example, Arduino or something else. But I think to create a product that is affordable, I just have to select a really basic microcontroller with only simple voltage regulator that is reliable and it doesn't lose its firmware when you power it on with a slow power supply, for example, from the ZX Spectrum. And it's easy to interface with the ZX Spectrum by software. And then there's lots of stuff out there from microcontrollers. So I think it isn't a big problem. But the problem with microcontroller is, even with Arduino, that it has a learning curve, and once you you have to start somewhere. You know, once you select a microcontroller, if you select a microcontroller, you have to select it by, for example, do I know this microcontroller, and how much time will it take for me to learn developing stuff for it? And that's really a lot of work. You know, if I would do that, if I would select a microcontroller, it would definitely not be for only one interface. I would want to do more with it, because I know I have to do a learning curve. So it will cost me a lot of time learning to program and develop the specific microcontroller. And of course, many of them use about the same syntax and it's have about the same architecture. but it's still a long learning curve. So anything, I just have to get into it one day. Do we have nude stuff here? Let's see. Do we have nude stuff? Well, yeah, no, not really. Yeah, I have lots of mainboards. You don't want to see my stock of mainboards, do you? I know some people don't, because some people really don't like me for stripping boards from cases. And I'm not gonna say not one word more than that about the topic. Anyway. Oh, Chinese, yeah, I would love Chinese, but I've already had pizza, so but maybe it's still early, so maybe I will get some Chinese later this evening. I've soldering in the barn, fibrin. So, you know, when everyone knows when you're soldering, all the vapors get into the house, and that maybe is one of the reasons that my kids didn't like. My parents didn't like me to do soldering in my bedroom, but I think later on I just did it in my bedroom. I'm not sure why I did it in the barn. I'm not sure. Don't know. Yeah, I think Xelior talking about bootloaders and that sort of things. The Raspberry Pi is really slow when you talk about booting. So the ZX HD takes about 2 seconds, 3 seconds, I think, before it actually can sense signals from the ZX Spectrum, and that made create some problems, some issues with detecting the model, and for example, being fast enough to get ready before the ZX Spectrum got into ZX Basics, 48 Basic, for example. So what we did is now we use the splash screen. You have to press reset. It says press reset in the back, or sorry, in the lower part of the screen, because we just couldn't get it fast enough, even on bare metal. You know, we're not running an operating system in the background, because it wasn't fast enough to get ready before the ZX Spectrum boots. But I think microcontrollers, so not Raspberry Pi, but simpler microcontrollers, will be fast enough. I don't think they have that boot time. And I don't know about Arduino. I don't know. I think Arduino will be too simple. No, not sure. I'm not sure. Or maybe too expensive. I'm not sure. I think Arduino is for the mainstream hobbyists who likes to write software for controlling hardware. No, I don't know about Visa. I'm not using it at the moment, so well, so Visa was down. I'm checking a Dutch website, news website, but I don't see anything there. Not sure. I never buy food with my credit card. Oh, only when I'm on holiday, but not in Holland. Let's see. I never felt sick when I'm soldering. Never. And I always try to ventilate a lot, but I always use these this Stannel soldering wire, which has the flux still in it. It's not lead free, because I once got the lead free solder from Stannel, and man, it smelled bad. That really gave me a headache. So I think I really like this for now, and but the stuff I use for reflowing in the future will be lead free, of course. Hey Chen, good evening. Alright, I was still trying to get through my program, and I was... man, I'm so distracted sometimes, but it's me. Blame me, it's not a problem. One other thing I did this week was fixing the contact form, and well, I can show you if you want to. Just have to check if there's nothing important. I will show you. I will show you the issues I had. So here you see the ByteDelight website, but with my login panel. I'm logged in, so this is my panel where I can just tune the website. And I had a plugin called Contact Form 7. Yeah, what's in the name? And for some reason, most of the time it just didn't send the message to me when someone was filling in the form. So now at the moment I did deactivated it and put another one in after a couple of attempts. And at the moment I'm using Forms Lite, and that works straight away. So there's something wrong with contact form, and I'm not sure. Maybe it's something with my hosting provider that's not supported. I also tried SMTP service plugin, because maybe it had something to do with sending mail from my hosting provider SMTP server, which didn't work, but it's also deactivated, as you can see, because now I just used the PHP mail command, which works great when I used Forms. Maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about, but it's this contact form, this one. It's a very simple form, you know, but it didn't work. The other one, this one works. So if you want to spam me, go ahead. Wow, Xavier, you must have a great wife who knows about managing WordPress sites. My wife, if I ask her what WordPress is, she most probably says something like when you need a new book and you have to put ink on the pages, something like that. I love my wife. Your wife doesn't allow you to watch this video? Yeah, okay, most probably you're right. It could be just my hosting provider. Anyway, I hear a very well-known tune. Cooperville, it's a demo. You know this demo, guys? Oh, wait, oh, what did it do? I want to show you when that stops. Why? Oh, what did it do? It was here, something. I want Cooperville, I like Cooperville. Oh man, where it is? There it is, somewhere. What the hell happened? Let's do this again. I want to get back to the beginning. I think it's here. I really like those demos, you know. I played a lot of demos on my Toast track. I really like those. Do you like demos, guys? The guy who recorded this most probably used an emulator, because this is not running as it should. No, nice effects, don't you think? I really like these demos. If you like demos like these, just go to pue.net, pue.net, and you find lots of demos here. for every scene you can imagine. So if you want to download something from ZX Spectrum's for ZX Spectrum, then you just go to ZX Spectrum, submit, and you get everything for the ZX Spectrum, and you can sort by date, and you see lots of new from this month demos, which has been shown at demo parties like, I don't know, these ones, Goblinish, Sip Crew. I really have to download a couple of these because I haven't downloaded some of these for a month now, so I really should download a couple of new ones. I really like those because they just show what your ZX Spectrum can do for you. Come on, man, get me sharp. Yeah, thank you, camera. Thank you, Brio. I really like this camera as well. You know, this camera is great. It has a great microphone. It gets every hair I have. There's some dust here. This one. Yeah, okay. And I have a lot of hair. Maybe it doesn't look like that, but because I don't like my hair to grow too long. So it's my own choice. Are you going to the pub? Can you give me a beer, Xelior? And if you're not receiving this, I will take one myself later on this evening. Maybe with the Chinese. You guys give me great ideas, you know. Yeah, stereo is perfect. Yeah, stereo. Watching demos in stereo with stereo sound is great. I know. I really like it, Vincent. Let's see. Where was I? So that was about the contact form. Yeah, this week's topics. We're already an hour on live, and I'm just starting now with the weekly topics. Well, we'll just cover them quickly then. The first one is, and man, I promised Xelior to respond to his question. I have to do that another time then, maybe. What surprised me is that I still get dozens of ZX Spectrums from everywhere. Mostly I buy them from local websites here, but sometimes I get them offered. I always pay for them. Don't get anything for free. But I mostly get the larger lots. So if someone has a collection for sale, I mostly get the possibility of buying those because most people here in Holland are interested in only 1 or 2 ZX Spectrums at a time and not 20 or something. I actually never bought 20 at the same time. Oh, I can. I'm not sure what it is. No, and on my stream it's completely synced. So I just checked the playback myself. I'm not sure what it is, Vincent. Anyway, back to the ZX Spectrums. I can still obtain many of them. So I don't think I will ever run dry in the near future. There were some times that I thought I have to put, for example, the plus cases I offer in my webshop out of stock. But I actually got a 3 or 4 last week, plus models, ZX Spectrums. And if the case is good enough to sell as mint, I do that. And I still think I'm too cheap with those cases because they sell well and they get more expensive to buy. So maybe I have to increase that price a little in the future. Anyway, so I can still get lots of them, which I really like because you can never have too many ZX Spectrums. Oh no, that's a lie. Well, Thomas, I really dreamt of ZX Spectrums in the past when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I dreamt of having a computer like a ZX Spectrum, and after that, I got a ZX Spectrum. And I remember I have dreamt sometimes about, man, why am I telling this on camera? About the car boot sales in the UK for some reason, because it was very hard to obtain a ZX Spectrum on the market throughout the last 5 years or so here in Holland, and I still think that in the UK it's more easy to get one, but that's not entirely true because also people in the UK have a hard time of finding a ZX Spectrum in a car boot still. So, but still, there are plenty of them to obtain from eBay or somewhere else. Let's see. Yeah, well, something that happened to me last Monday, which is very important. You can still see it here on the front page of the Dutch website tweakers.net. This is the front page. I just loaded it. See, you can still see here the article about build your own ZX Spectrum, and it is a large article which was shown here in one of the large spots at the website, on top of the website. So it got a lot of attention from readers from this website, and they have thousands of subscribed readers. You don't have to pay for this website, but you have to be a member to post things on it. But the article and the video review both are really awesome. I will just show you first the article. This article with lots of pictures of the kit I sent them. So Sim, this is Sim, the guy. It's called Sim. Kranenburg. He ordered the kit from me, and he told me that he wanted to write an article. We'll show you an article in the printed magazine. So this one, which was graded altogether already, but you know, Bart van Akker here from Helmond, from the Home Computer Museum, is also in this magazine. So it's really kind of a retro computer special, you can say. And the cover of the Harlequin kit was 8 pages. Oh, that's cool. I only now discovered he is holding a Z88, you know? That's cool. Didn't know that. Just see it. He has all kinds of machines in the museum, and I still have a bag, and underneath the table there, that bag contains 2 ZX Spectrums for him. I still have to bring them. But anyway, this is the 8-page article about the Harlequin kit. It goes on and on. And this is for paid subscribers for Tweakers.net, so you don't have to pay, but you can have a subscription where you can get things like this printed magazine, for example. But he didn't tell me he was also going to publish it on the website. And people really liked, if you read a response here, people really liked the article. And it's very detailed, you know. He's got so many background information here. This is his own issue 2 board, which I refurbished, so you can see some of my handwriting here. And this is about a Harlequin kit. This is the kit I deliver, except for, of course, the case, which he got, I think, from ZX Reno, so from Peter Smith. It's all the bags with the part numbers on it. And this is the finished board. So really detailed photos. He took about 4 hours or something like that, with all the making of the video and the photos, I think. The finished machine with the replica case, which is really nice. If you see, you cannot tell it's a replica case, of course, which is great. Really nice job from George and Peter selling them, of course. So as I told, there's also a video review, and you can also watch it on YouTube. And I think they didn't know that this wasn't Clive Sinclair, actually. But anyway, it was nice. Here's working on the kit. Man, this is incredible. It has been watched 5,000 times. It's not my channel. It's from Tweakers, you know. But it's really awesome that they did this cover of the Harlequin kit, this feature, already got lots of new orders from people after they read this article from Holland and Belgium mostly. So I think what they did was awesome, and not only for me but for the whole scene. I really like it. Anyway, if you want to watch the video or something, it's in Dutch, but that's because this is one of the few main large computer websites, computer hardware related websites in Holland, and they do everything in Dutch there. But you're free to watch and visit the website, of course, no problem at all. And I think you can even translate it with Google if you want to. So, getting those extra orders is great, but not for my backlog, of course. So I still have to work really hard getting the work done. So my wife already helped me with getting the bags ready for the parts from the Harlequin kits. I even have now some small Harlequin logo on it, you know, for just to make it more professional. Man, I think I do. It's getting into this kind of routine, doing about what is it, 50 edge connectors. Prepare edge connectors, so I have to cut them, I have to put a nail in them, and then I have to strip away the rest of the part of the nail. I have to do monthly orders, so I order printed circuit boards, parts, everything else which is needed, HDMI cables, all sort of things. And you know, if you buy parts, you have to select the correct part, and there are lots of parts that didn't work correctly, or some of the parts had defects, and I don't like that at all. So sometimes I just change to vinyl for reliable things like the dill chips for the Harlequin kits, for example. So I get them only from vinyl these days, not from anywhere else, because buying them from China is too unreliable. But other parts I still get from China, not much. So for example, all the CPLD chips, I have to be careful. All these I buy from reliable sources nowadays, and they're about twice the price when you want to get them from a reliable source. But it saves a lot of time instead of desoldering parts that didn't work. Anyway, let's check the messages. Well, Vincent, first get the 48K live living again, and I won't discourage you to buy more ZX Spectrums, because for example, get a toast rack or get a +3, for example. Those machines are great, and you really will enjoy them. Or get Spanish models, or Portuguese models, or other clones of it. Anyway, you get a Harlequin kit. Every one of those different models have their own specific characteristics which you will love. I love it because so. Well, Thomas, in the UK, if you have if your car boot seal, you can put the stuff under the back door of the car, of course, I think. Anyway, with the rain here in Holland, as it is in Holland, I think I wouldn't be outside as well with a car boot seal. Frank, good evening. Lamer, good evening from Czech Republic. Good evening, guys. Let's see. I'm almost through my things for this week, I think, and it's not a problem because we're on 1.5 hours now. Man, I still, I will just do it. Xavier asked me a question, and I forgot already what he asked me, but I think I can get it back. I have to get it in the mailbox again. ByteDelight. First I have to go to the webpage. Ah! You just came from the computer museum, Frank. Nice. I have to go to there because I have to pick up some stuff from him and deliver some stuff to him. Let's see. Man, lots of messages, but I will do those tomorrow. But what did he send? You digitized my photo. Oh no, his question is not on the mail. I will show you the photo he sent me. Oh, that's the wrong button. He sent me this. Look at it. Someone is hacking me. Looks like a thermal camera, did you think? And I actually saw something which was very funny. I don't know if you can. I'm not even sure if that's allowed on YouTube. But let me look it up for you. Just a second. It was so funny. I think it was funny. Yeah, this one. Just a second. Yeah. I think this is very funny. I will show you. I think this is very funny. Look at this. This is a thermal camera. Look what happens. Have you seen this? I think it's very funny. I will put down the music. This is the Spectrum music again. I think it's very funny. I'm not sure it's real, but. Right, I will. I have to get to Bart really soon. Yeah. Oh man, I'm watching the demo, but it's really an emulator. Look at this. This is bad. When you run this on the ZX Spectrum, real ZX Spectrum, you really see that interlaced picture of those two pictures on top of each other. This is man, this is very bad. So it's an emulator. Anyway. Yeah, Thomas, maybe they should. It wouldn't surprise me if there will be some kind of television show in the future from thermal cameras picking up farts. Okay. I know Xelior, I know you're away or got to the pub with your wife, but you asked me something about extension cables or PCBs, I'm not sure. Maybe it has to do something about where the limit is, how long the cable can be, something like that. But I know from experience that those extended cables, and I still have a couple, Fartwatch here. Not Baywatch, but Fartwatch. Those extension cables cause a lot of problems with, for example, with storage interfaces, because the signals going over the cables when you use, for example, different MC interface, are so fast that most of the time they will cause some data corruption. And as the ZX Spectrum doesn't have any way of dealing with data corruption over the tracks of the cable or the printed circuit board, it will just crash your ZX Spectrum or something else. I've tried it before. A simple interface like a joystick interface will work without any problem, and most of the time you will get a storage interface working with some kind of extension cable, but not more than a couple of centimeters. If you do, if you make it longer, you will definitely get a distortion on the signals, and the machine will crash anyway. But if you wanted to ask anything else about extension cables or something, let me know, Xelior, and we'll discuss it on Facebook. I didn't see your topic which you were referring to. Okay, it's quarter before 8. And I think I will get some Chinese. So, before I will go, lots of people are watching, so thank you for watching. That's the first thing I want to say. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I'm still trying to get to the 1,000 subscribers, and we're at 819, 820 I think at the moment. I'm not sure how to get more people subscribing, but we'll see in time. But if you want to win a Pro One, subscribe and maybe you win it, because I'm doing a random giveaway again at 900 subscribers. Enough about that. Lekker. Sorry, that was Dutch. I said, tasteful, Frank. 821, is that the number you ordered at Chinese, yeah? Again, if you have any idea for the show, let me know. Send it to me by Facebook or reply to this video. I will do some more live demonstration in the future. I just have to think of some of those. Maybe I can... Is there some things I can share you at the moment? Yeah, maybe you will like this, I'm not sure. Let's see. So, for the last days I did some case preparations. I think they look very cool, and one of the things I actually did last week also was, I will show you the difference, was changing the case design of the Pro One a bit. And I wonder if you people can see it. Can you see it? Can you see the difference? Must be obvious now, I think. Oh. Who can see the difference? No, you're not winning one, but just to know if everyone can see it. Oh, to subscribe. Okay, thank you. That's the big benefit of having these cases 3D printed. Because I can do small modifications anytime I like. Okay, well, I will just tell you. I changed the screw hole size. Until now I used 3mm screws, but it's getting hard to obtain them. I get batches from Australia, other side of the world, you know, because they must be black and they must be a certain length. And I checked and I couldn't find them anywhere here nearby. So at the end I decided to go for the smaller screws, the 2.6mm, so a bit smaller, with a smaller head size as well. And it's so easy to change it in the design program, and then order a couple to check. And so anyway, that's what I like with these cases. What did I buy more? As I told you, I did some edge connectors today, and I know on the stock I'm showing you now is only for a couple of days. This whole stack of edge connectors here. And then don't look at this side, these are other types, but these ones are the good quality ones. This is for only I think a day or 2 or 3, and then they're gone, and I have to craft new ones. And the same for the printed circuit boards. So for example, here I have the boards for the Pro One and the cases for the older FMCs and the minis and lots of things. And what do we have here more? Here are all the other interface boards, PCBs, oops, yeah, lots of them. And it's only small stock. I think this is for about 3 months or something at most. So I have to order these parts every month from now on, and just what I need. And mostly I order for about 4 months in the future. But because it takes about 4 weeks until they arrive, the stock will only last for 2 or 3 months after that, you know. It's just counting out. And I had a couple of situations throughout last month that some parts were depleted, so I really have to keep an eye on the stock all the time. So enough about that. It's only a small part of the stock. I won't show you the rest at the moment. I'm reading the replies, but all right. Anyway, have a good evening, guys. Speak to you next week, 6 o'clock Dutch time, 5 o'clock UK time. Play some games for me. If you like to discuss anything you come across next week, send it to me and we'll discuss it here. I really like it. I wouldn't call this a religion. Yeah, Frank, see you soon. Really soon, I promise you. You know, from now on I have only one job, real job, so I can catch a breath and really relax from now on. And not really relax, I have to work, you know. Send me to work, man. Okay, guys, see you later. Thank you for watching and subscribe.